Fortunately, inspiration and perspiration went hand in hand on the humid Florida shoot.
Johnny was a saint making that movie because wearing that suit in the heat in Florida, the suit was really skin tight. We put a kind of a cooling element underneath, but it didn't really work, and the hands are heavy.
More difficult for Depp was the actor's ongoing struggle to bring humanity to a character that began as a two-dimensional drawing.
A lot of the things that Tim and I talked about was just to maintain the purity of the character, and things that people would set on their tables would become fascinating and another world for him. I knew that early on it would rely on gestures and expressions. And Charlie Chaplin, I watched a lot of Charlie Chaplin movies. The way he walked, I thought, said so much about the character.
The first day of shooting, we reshot. We hadn't quite found the voice yet and the character.
One helpful insight to the role came from writer Caroline Thompson.
Well, I actually based the character on a dog that I used to have. She was so present that she could do just about everything but speak, and you could feel her, wanting to describe the world to you, wanting to participate. That's how Edward seemed to me.
I kept thinking of a dog. I kept thinking of that unconditional love, and the way that if you scold a dog, he cowers to the corner.
The character came alive with Johnny Depp's performance. It was brand new, and it was totally out of Johnny Depp's heart and mind. You sit back and you went, well, yeah, of course, that's him.
That was the single most thrilling experience of my whole life.
In finding the role, Depp was also helped by the character design of Oscar winner Stan Winston.
It was a stretch because Tim is the most free-thinking and imaginative director I've ever worked with. He's very theatrical. He is not grounded in what is the reality of these Scissorhands. It was more of a challenge for me to think as freely as Tim. The blades on the glove hands were plastic. We actually created a pair for him early on so that he could take them home and try and figure out how would he get things done if actually he was encumbered by these hands.
Work with the remote control on a television set is virtually impossible. Going to the bathroom, it's something you don't even want to talk about. It's just, but after a while, it just became the second nature.
We also created a mechanical pair, and we call them our insert hands, which were operated by 4 or 5 puppeteers that actually could cut.
Make it a 5-run inning and blow this game to pieces.
I'll be darned.
For Tim Burton, the most fulfilling aspect of Edward Scissorhands was the chance to work with the man who had been his lifelong hero, Vincent Price.
One of my favorite memories in my career is being able to witness Tim Burton working with Vincent Price, because he really idolized Vincent.
Tim used to go see all those Corman horror movies at his local movie theater in Burbank, and he loved Vincent, I think, because he made evil understandable and seductive and charming.
By 1990, the 79-year-old legend was seriously ill, but Price gratefully accepted the role, a role that reflected Burton's own affection for the actor, who had become a real-life mentor.
There was an old man from the Cape who made himself garments of crepe. When asked, will they tear, he replied, here and there, but they keep such a beautiful shape. That's right. Go ahead, smile, it's funny.
He creates Edward. He creates him out of a cookie heart, the heart of a cookie. It's a wonderful kind of comic, but very serious idea, because it is a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale with a moral.
For Tim, having my father validate his creative work was very important to him. The three of them, Tim and Johnny and my dad, connected.
To see Tim's face when he was directing Vincent, the delight and the love and the, you know, just the respect that he had for him and how much Vincent appreciated that. It was a really beautiful relationship.